Hi, my name is Gina Wencel, and I'm going to be reading one of my flash fiction pieces for Theater 29. Okay. It's called Serpent of Hope. She walked into the giant serpent's palace. She did it proudly and with respect. She was frightened, but she was also resigned. She noted that the floor and ceiling were made of glass. She thought this must be so the warmth of the sun would penetrate the structure and warm the snake within. She noticed there was a large black cushion under a domed skylight. She wanted to lie in the folds of the dark pillow and wait for the serpent there, sleeping, so when it struck, she would think it all a dream and wake up in the afterlife. Suddenly, there was a hissing behind her, and when she turned, she was not at all prepared, for the serpent was formidable, thick, and beautiful. It balanced as it coiled high above her, yet she was not frightened, but fascinated. She reached out, and the serpent smiled. It allowed her to touch its iridescent skin, made up of jeweled colors, all in diamond patterns. When it flexed, the shimmer was blinding. She looked up into its eyes. They were the color of the sun and intelligent. This was a god, she thought. I am your sacrifice, and I give myself willingly, she stated softly. This was required, for an unwilling sacrifice would not be taken. You are a living present, a great gift. You are a catalyst. You will give me the will to shed my skin and become new, said the serpent. She nodded her head unsure. Why were you chosen? It asked as it slithered its way to the dark pillow and circled itself like a cat, but with head protruding as it listened. I am old and alone. I am of no use now. She looked down at herself, at her able body. She knew she had lines around her mouth and in the corners of her eyes, but she could still laugh, and she knew her eyes were bright. You are not old, not compared to me. The serpent tilted its head to the side, an invitation to sit with it, and she desired to do so. She needed to sink into the folds of the cushion, to lean into the jewels of skin. How will you do it? She asked as she sat within the fabric, leaning carefully against the body of the serpent. It whipped its head around to look at her, and again she was struck by its smile. I can strike you. I can eat you whole. I can crush you. She smiled. The horror of what the serpent said did not match its eyes. This serpent was somehow kind. There is talk among the others that you do not like to take a human life, and when you do, you are seen within your glass castle crying. They say the serpent repents the act. The serpent looked at her, and its eyes seemed to mist over, but it did not say a word. It is good, great serpent, for I am done with this life and I want the other. Then I will crush you. I will be quick, and your smile and your heart will burst before your breath runs out. Then I will go to this summer land and She hesitated, for she wanted to believe that she would again meet her lover and child who had gone before. It is the great mystery, perhaps. Serpent's eyes were deep, and she felt an overwhelming feeling of trust. I hope so, she said. The serpent felt her power. It is time. May I sleep? She hoped her desire would come true, and the serpent would kill her when she dreamed. Will you hold me? Yes, and I thank you. The woman closed her eyes. She felt the cool scales surround her gently, and she fell asleep. In her dream, she saw her lover, and when he smiled, it reminded her of the serpent's smile. And this made her wonder. She dreamed of him making love to her and of her having the child, but this child had skin that shimmered silver in the sunlight, and it was the most beautiful child she had ever seen, and the sun was high as it is in summer. The serpent crushed her quickly and breathed her trust into its heart. It could feel the rejuvenation almost immediately. It knew that once she died, she would cease to be. But the serpent would never have told the woman this, for the woman had had hope, and it was that willful desire which colored him and made him brilliant. He gently swallowed her body in a loving kiss. When she was inside him, the serpent shed a tear which turned to gold as it melted into its skin, causing another iridescent diamond to appear on its body. Soon, the woman will have made the serpent as brilliant and hope-filled as the life-giving sun. Thank you. The end.